after the break. Hammer is after the break. It's at the end of the morning. It's not now. Remember, Hammer is at the first song after the break. First song we're doing now is the global warming.
I think I've got it. But Sue, I'll bring my picker right back.
If my hate
No, you don't.
Good morning.
Hello? Oh, there we are. Good. We're going to start with one that should be getting a bit familiar to you. It's the global warming song, and Penelope is going to lead it. Now, now, now.
We need to wake up, we need to wise up, we need to open up our eyes and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. We're on a planet that has a problem. We've got to solve it, get involved and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. Make it greener, make it cleaner, make it last, make it fast, and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. No point in waiting or hesitating. We must get quiet, take more lives, and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. We need to wake up, we need to wise up, we need to open up our eyes and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now.
We're going to let our banjo folk tune for this next song, which is from the book Earth, E-A-A-R-T-H, by Bill McKibben. Wrote it a few years ago. Well, that was copyright 2011, I believe. And the issues that he highlights in that incredible work, the way he had done in The End of Nature a generation ago, reminded us and called us to account for what was then more possible to come below the 350 parts per million. And he keeps working at it, and as the movement grows, so does the need. On page 170 in his book, he gives an example of Bangladesh. And we know that Bangladesh is under great difficulty these days, even more than it was earlier in this century, as the ocean water seeps into the groundwater, makes farming, drinking water even more difficult. And Yet there on 1 acre, there is such diversity that it gives the rest of us hope for looking toward a time when agriculture will move from being big business to being local and beautiful. Thank you. How many kinds of fruit and veggies grow in a Bangladeshi garden? Looking for diversity, you really ought to go to a Bangladeshi garden. Coconut and betel nut, cardamom and cinnamon, nut fruit, okra, blackberry, guava and pomegranate, eggplant and mango, bamboo, apple, big black seed. Rest beneath a palm tree, what can you see in a Bangladeshi garden? All within an acre, with a wise caretaker, a Bangladeshi garden. Sing loud now. Fish and ducks and chicken coop, meat and eggs and chicken coop, spiraling fertility. The earth's getting hotter, so tend the soil and water like a Bangladeshi garden. Hey, thank you, thank you. Good to have our banjos with us. Those of you who come from the Judeo-Christian tradition may remember in the Hebrew scriptures that Elijah is running away from the armies, and he hides out in a cave, and the Lord passes by, and the mountains are rented and broken in pieces, and there's wind, but the Lord was not in the wind or the earthquake or the fire, but rather a still small voice. And in all the winds and earthquakes and fires that we are experiencing, it's only when we get still, whatever is our tradition, and centered and grounded, that we are given the energy and the vision to move beyond what's going on in this incredible planet of ours, and to find some hope and action. This is called Hunker Down, which is a direct quote from Maestro Bill McKibben. Hunker down to the sound of the driving rain. Let me lie in the eye of the hurricane. Hear your call to us all in that peril and pain. Help us stand, join hands, hear you again. Try it now, here we go. Hunker down to the sound of the driving rain. we're going to sing that one that we started the conference with by Lori Wyatt and Pete Seeger in 2010. And as we talked about at the beginning, the chorus of line each time is God's counting on you, God's counting on me. Some people have felt oppressed by the theistic view of reality. So if you are more comfortable singing Earth's counting on me, Earth's counting on you, let's do that for a while. When we look and we can see things are not what they should be, Earth's counting on me, Earth's counting on you. When we look and we can see things are not what they should be, Earth's counting on me, Earth's counting on you. Oh, hoping we'll all go through, hoping we'll all go through, hoping we'll all go through. Me and you, take it to Philippines.
Well, it's time to turn things round. Trickle up, trickle down.
Earth's counting on me,
Earth's counting on you. And when they say drill, baby drill, and it turns into spill, baby spill. Earth's counting on me, Earth's counting on you.
hoping we'll all go through, hoping we'll all go through, hoping we'll all go through, me and you. Keep away from those tar sands with our dirty, oily hands. God's counting on me, God's counting on you. Now let's all take the oath. We can sustain unlimited growth. Earth's counting on you, Earth's counting on you. Oh, hoping we'll all go through, hoping we'll all go through, hoping we'll all go through, me and you. Bob.
Get out of this mess if we all make do with less.
Earth's counting on me, Earth's counting on you.
Many wrongs we have made, change the course, don't be afraid.
Earth's counting on me,
Earth's counting on you.
hoping we'll all go through, hoping we'll all go through, hoping we'll all go through. Take it, Gino.
So don't give up, don't give in. Working together, we can win.
Earth's counting on me,
Earth's counting on you.
There's big problems to be solved. Let's get everyone involved.
Earth's counting on me,
Earth's counting on you.
Oh, when we sing with younger folk, we will never give up hope.
Earth's counting on me,
Earth's counting on you.
oh, hoping we'll all go through, hoping we'll all And we spoke earlier in the conference about that little archipelago, Tuvalu, which means 8 islands standing together, but now they're standing ankle deep in water, if not deeper. And this song is for them. Tuvalu mo te atua. Alice is leading.
Tuvalu, Tuvalu, tiny islands in the ocean blue.
Tuvalu, Tuvalu, you live or die by what we do. Blue lagoon and coral sand mark the beauty of your land. But ice is melting far away, and the sea is rising in the bay. Tuvalu, Tuvalu, tiny islands in the ocean blue. Tuvalu, Tuvalu, you live or die by what we do. Cyclone blowing to your grief, coral dying on the reef. Fish no longer come in swarms as the ocean water warms.
Some still fight with tanks and guns, but a new war has begun. This is how the world attacks, with car exhaust and chimney stacks.
Tuvalu, Tuvalu, tiny islands in the ocean blue. Tuvalu, Tuvalu, you live or die by what we do.
Hear the island people say, join us in more gentle ways. Treat our life with precious worth. Live more simply on the earth.
Atolls flood as rising seas, swamped your homes and your breadfruit trees. Time to leave, you cannot stay. Where to go, you cannot say. Tuvalu, Tuvalu, tiny islands in the ocean blue. Tuvalu, Tuvalu, you live or die by what? One more time. Tuvalu, Tuvalu, tiny islands in the ocean blue. Tuvalu, Tuvalu, you live or die by what we do. Thank you for singing with us, and we'll be back.
Thank you, Pilgrim Pickers. Good morning. I am Tandayaka. John Cobb Jr. has been my teacher and mentor for 33 years because he walks his talk. And because he calls upon all of us, upon me and upon all of us, to walk our talk. Thank you, John. As John told us yesterday, we are here not only to talk about a vision of what could happen, and we are here not only to talk about an idea of an ecological future, but we are also here to support action so that we share a golden future. But one question still comes to mind for me when I think of John's words, which make total sense to me, and it's this: why are we also supposed to sing? Why are the pilgrim pickers making us sing? And as I thought about this question, a story came to mind by a northerner who traveled through the South before the Civil War. And every place he went, every field he passed by, he saw the slaves singing. And finally, totally baffled, he went up to one of the slaves and he said, "I don't understand it, you're slaves. Why are you happy? Why are you singing?" And the slave said, "Sir, you do not understand. We do not sing because we are happy. We sing to make ourselves happy." Or as the poet June Jordan reminds us in the poem that she read before the United Nations in 1978, "We will sing and sing back into the mountains, and if necessary, even under the sea, because we are the ones we have been waiting for." We are the ones we have been waiting for. And so, as John reminded us yesterday, we cannot survive alone. He said that in spite of our multiplicity, we have a profound unity. Or as I simply like to say, human survival is not a solo act. Say it with me. Human survival is not a solo act. And once more, human survival is not a solo act. And Ignacio now is going to tell us why human survival is not a solo act. Announcements, please.
Woo! Good morning, everybody. Wake up. Come on. Today is a little bit more colorful, and the way we solve John Cobb's problem that he cannot see who is there is by talking and shouting from time to time, whistling. It's okay, folks. It's okay, all right? Okay, I'll admit it. I'm on drugs, okay? They're called endorphins, and you can get them too by singing with the pickers a little louder, and also shouting back at our speaker who's used to that. I remember the fame, you know, how wonderful the people really did talk back, okay? Now, serious. Let's be serious. I have announcements about some changes that have been made, okay? So, the Bandana Shiva will be meeting here at Big Bridges, okay? So, make a note of that. It'll be right here. The hunger panel will be here. Now, I was not given the time. 11 o'clock. Okay, very good. So, okay, we're getting somewhere. Then those of you who were interested in Philip Clayton, and apparently there were so many of you that they had to find a bigger venue, and you'll have to go to the chapel at the UCC Church. That's the UCC Church is on the other side of the campus. It's the first building that is not literally on the campus. So it's on Harvard. You know, you can go back home and brag that you have been to Harvard, okay? And the other change is that the Learning to Love workshop is now on Broad, B-R-O-A-D Center 209. I did not know you really actually had to learn to love, but you must, okay? It's very Whiteheadian, you know, first is the romancing, and then you Whiteheadians know already about that. I think I have time to slip in one thing. I forgot to say yesterday that Cobb has a great sense of humor. He asked me, what is the longest Spanish word? Goal! That was not John Cobb, it was Ted Cobb. Have a great day. Oh, by the way, don't forget to sign up for the Center for Process Studies. Now that you have come over here and convinced yourself, hopefully, that this is a great thing, sign up for Center for Process Studies. And don't forget Pando, okay? Keep on expandoing. Bye. Oh. The caring circle is where? Where? Okay, remember John Cobb mentioned the caring circles every morning at 8 o'clock. Oh, and where? At the registration table. Okay? All right. Have a great day.
We know that human salvation is not a solo act. And so we are grateful to the many organizations that are supporting this conference. And we know that many of us will continue a pattern of mutual support into the future. We wish we had time to celebrate the work that so many are doing, but we cannot do this today. So we honor only a few individually. This morning, we have chosen to celebrate the work of the Cecil Murray Center for Community Engagement of the University of Southern California. We choose this organization because none of our supporters have been more practically helpful, and none is more engaged in doing what is required if Southern California is to approximate an ecological civilization. The Center for Community Engagement can move toward this goal as local people are empowered to take control of their own lives and create the just communities they need for healthy survival. And this is what the center is doing, thanks to Cecil Murray. We prefer to call him Chip. He's had a brilliant career as a pastor of the First African Methodist Episcopal Church of Los Angeles. Under his leadership, his church in many ways became the center of the African American community of Los Angeles. And Chip was often its most effective spokesman. In retirement, through his Center for Community Engagement, he is sharing with many other leaders his extraordinary understanding of how to serve the community effectively by empowering its people. The Claremont School of Theology takes great pride in claiming him as an alumnus, and the Center for Process Studies is deeply grateful to his continuing friendship and collegiality. This morning, it is thus with profound gratitude and appreciation that we welcome him to welcome us.
Thank you so much. You're so beautiful. Developing an ecological civilization, environment, communities coalescing for not only survival but transcendence. And you and I are the building blocks. And we are determined not to become the stumbling blocks. And our block in particular We are led by the inspiration of one who was one of my instructors when I was a student at the School of Theology at Claremont. And he led in the committee on my dissertation. I love him very much, Dr. John Cobb. Upon mandatory retirement at age 75 by the African Methodist Episcopal Church, I was brought on board the next year at the USC as the Tansey Chair. A few years later, the Center for Religion and Civic Culture, the research component of the School of Religion, headed by Dr. Don Miller, founded and named it in my honor the Cecil Murray Center for Community Engagement. There we take leaders of the faith-based communities. We indoctrinate them in 13 weeks of intense training with civic initiatives, helping us lift the fallen, giving sight to the blind, working with those whose poverty rate is double that of the national average, unemployment rate triple that of the national average. How can we lift the communities? To date, we have some 700 churches whose leadership have been through our training. We can do an e-blast and get to these critical churches. Our e-blast will include the prayers, the hopes, the planning, as we are headed by our architect of design, Dr. John Cobb. We understand that which Dr. Cobb helps us to understand. When asked, what is the secret of success? Thoreau, the great mind, said 3 times a single word: simplify, simplify, simplify. That is why we gather. There is a simple solution that is not simple. But if we can find a way to reduce the complications to simplicity, then we can have an ecological environment. We are committed, and thank you for being our brothers and sisters in commitment. Summarily, an example: the tigers are vanishing. And what's the solution? What's the answer? To build more cages? No. To build more solid forests. Welcome to the ride.
To Chip, let the congregation shout amen. Amen. Vernon Visick holds a PhD in ethics and society from the University of Chicago. Vern worked for 35 years as a campus minister on the University of Wisconsin campus, first as an assignment to do programming in religion and politics and the ethics of student development, and then as director of New College Madison, a group doing programming in the areas of religion, ethics, politics, and the environment. As campus minister in Wisconsin, Vern also organized many conferences. Here in Claremont, Vern is a member of Progressive Christians Uniting, where he serves on a committee planning the annual agenda for a prophetic faith lecture series. Here is what John Cobb Jr. told me about Vern, and I quote John here: "I did not dare to try to organize this conference until I had been assured of Vern's help. In fact, he has been giving much of his time over many months to bringing his rich experience to bear on implementing plans for this conference. Without his commitment, there would have been no conference." Let us repeat. Without his commitment, there would have been no conference. Let us stand and express our heartfelt thanks and gratitude as we say, welcome and thank you, Vern.
I want to add my welcome to you, all of you, and hope that you're having a good conference. It's gratifying to see so many of you here so early in the morning when part of our topic is the discipline and the practice of economics, not without reason known as the dismal science. But we're considering the work of a man who has made the study of economics exciting again and vital and very important. Herman Daly, one of the co-founders of ecological economics, is the topic of our reflection here now for the rest of this time this morning. He is the author of Steady State Economics, Beyond Growth, Ecological Economics, and the Ecology of Economics, and with John Cobb Jr. for the Common Good, one of the important books of the last part of last century. He's a recipient of the Honorary Right Livelihood Award in Sweden, the Heineken Prize for Environmental Science from the Royal Netherlands Academy of Arts and Sciences, and the Sophie Prize from Norway. Apparently, he's very liked and respected in Scandinavia. So he will not be here with us in person this morning because of some health complications, but we have him via the wonder of modern technology and Skype technology in an interview conducted by Warren Olney, a radio personality and principal of To the Point, a popular program nationally syndicated over Public Radio International. Participating in this interview will be John Cobb, so we have reunited for 30 minutes the team that produced that book for the common good. After the video is shown, it'll take about 35 minutes. We have a panel that will do some minor responses with the time that's left. And the panel consists of Josh Farley, who's a fellow of the Gund Institute for Ecological Economics at the University of Vermont, and co-author with Herman Daly of the widely used textbook Ecological Economics, Principles and Applications, now translated into Mandarin and Portuguese and German and other translations now in process. Ellen Brown, who is the founder of the Public Banking Institute and author of the books Web of Debt, The Shocking Truth About Our Money System and How We Can Break Free, and author also of The Public Banking Solution, From Austerity to Prosperity. And Mark Anielski, President and CEO of Anielski Management Incorporated, and author of The Economics of Happiness, Building Genuine Wealth and Just Ecological Integrity, The Ethics of Maintaining Planetary Life. So now to see Herman Daly on these two screens and to consider his very, very important work revising the discipline of economics.
Hi, I'm Norman Alney, host of the program To the Point, syndicated by Public Radio International and produced here in the studios of KCRW Santa Monica. Today, it is my privilege to moderate this plenary presentation entitled Ecological Economics for an Ecological Civilization. It's part of the Seizing an Alternative Conference. In the studio with me is John B. Cobb, Jr. He is the intellectual architect of the conference. He's also today's leading philosophical theologian and one of the first to bring together philosophy, ethics, religion, and the environment in a critical way. We are joined from his home in Maryland by Professor Herman Daly. He is a former World Bank economist, and he's considered to be the father of ecological economics. They are the authors of the groundbreaking book in that field, For the Common Good. And gentlemen, thank you very much